Ladies and gentlemen, all of the wonderful people out here, we're here for episode 1 of your AAL2 Turf Talk. It is your boy, Cool McCain, with the honor of being the host of the show. And I'm here with somebody that's very important to the AAL2 and somebody who's also very important to the Bearkats. Right? The Jersey Bearkats. Make sure I get
it.
So, Mr. Jermaine Sanders. So, Jermaine, I'm a person that believes no one can introduce you to everyone better than you. And I treat it as if there's no one out here that's ever seen you before, knows who you are, and just gives you an opportunity to, the best person that can talk about you, to tell everybody who you are and the roles that you hold within the AAL2.
Oh my goodness. Thanks, Cool. I appreciate you. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Jermaine Sanders. I'm the co-owner of the Jersey Bearkats Arena Football Team, as well as co-owner of the American Arena League and Arena League 2. A little bit about myself. I've been with the Bearkats since its inception with my partner, AJ Roque. And that's been since 2018, 2019. So we're coming up on our 6th season. So we're very excited about that. We've had some great success in the last 5 years with 2 championships. So that's been, our thing since day one. Capture championships, but more importantly, being able to, have a platform for a lot of these young guys and ballers to, utilize and take advantage of and, make some film for themselves and catapult them up to the next level. So, yep.
Perfect, man. Perfect. So, yeah, here with the AAL2, the first thing I asked you, you've been around it for a while and everything. How has it been and how have you seen it, evolve from year 1 to what we're going into now, year 6 for you?
Oh, wow. I envisioned us, well, let me take a step back. I would say back in 2018, my partner and I had a mutual friend, brought us together. He has some great playing experience, playing, arena football. Unfortunately, I didn't have any, but I had, similar, with earlier years of success of playing ball and things of that nature. But for the most part, I had the, business, background with my bachelor's in business management and marketing. And then recently, in the last 4 or 5 years, I received my sports management degree, master's at Fairleigh Dickinson University here in Jersey. In any event, going back to your question, since day one, it was a lot of generic stuff and just, kind of, throwing things on the wall to see what worked and just learned from that and continuously evolved and changed things around and budgetized. And, that was the key of making sure that at least in the first few years, we could sustain itself and continue on with some of our goals and plans to, eventually, make it to the professional ranks one day. But, and my, take on it, it's, you got to crawl before you walk and got to walk before you run. So we've been taking it easy and pretty much, standing on our our manhood with everything that we set forth and continue to deliver and making our fans happy, the community happy, our players. This organization, we sweat a lot of blood, sweat and tears, over the years on both, sides of the families and sacrificed a lot. But it's really coming around. Like I said, from day one, it was just, flash in the pan, so to speak. And, we got the right ingredients and the batter and stuff. And here we are today.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. So I know you mentioned that you guys have some championships, which is not easy to do in any league, right? There's no time where you kind of look at championships and be like, oh, they got a championship, but blase this, blase this. You may trash talk in the the league or different teams, but so how has it been kind of being that guy that helps run the league itself and then be able to compartmentalize co-owner of the league versus co-owner of the Bearkats?
Well, several years ago, we were fortunately enough to come across the opportunity to, to acquire the AAL,
Mhm.
and just I would have to relay or rely on pretty much AJ's experience in that because he's played in the arena.
Mhm.
He has that experience, and he's been around owners and coaches and GMs. So we've had conversations and talked about things that eventually I wanted to experience and kind of dab into. I mean, I've had a little experience, but not this kind of experience on this type of level. So during our conversations, we would, kind of cover a lot of things that he's experienced over the years by playing, and kind of adapted to and added some of my, business skills and acumen to the mix, and it's been quite successful over the years. And acquiring the league has been a tough challenge at first. We took a year off after that to kind of evaluate things and just so we don't fall into the same, compartmental or the same. I guess if you want to call it, didn't want
Pitfall.
to fall in that same, in the same,
Yep.
in that same situation. But we wanted to do things a little differently and market it a little differently. And since then, it's been quite, successful with us adding, the development side, which is the AAL2. So the AAL2 is kind of put us on the map as well until we can kind of build things for the AAL and bring that back. So.
So I'm glad you mentioned the AAL2 and the developmental piece of that. Could you explain to the good people that are going to see this, that are watching, what exactly, and Commissioner AJ has done that as well, but just giving your perspective on it, on exactly what that development is and how that works, so people can kind of, just get an understanding of it.
Sure, absolutely. I think a lot has to do with budgetizing,
Mhm.
being able to, just kind of go back and go over some of those things like the fundamentals and, the business 101 or the AFL or the arena 101, and just get back to the basics and, being able to develop a lot of these guys at this level to propel them for the next level. At times it's been very challenging, but it's also been very rewarding to see these guys develop from day one to the end of the season, and then sometimes being pulled, during the season to, the professional level. So we always applaud that. Just like, my partner always says, we don't want them here. We want them here for the opportunity to build on and then be able to get to the next level and stay at the next level. Sometimes it's not like that in some cases, and they come back to work on their craft and then continue to, push them back out. So, I think a lot of it has to do with, the majority of, folks that, coming into this business and not just, uh, blitzing through their budget and everything, and then all of a sudden, 1 year in and 1 year out type of thing, a real quick flash in the pan. But, I think we have sort of a formula, and we've worked and vetted through a lot of different teams, and the teams that we currently have been, really following that mark and our lead in terms of, being successful with this, particular developmental league. And then, for those that, have the experience already, it's one that's just, they want to come in, they see what we're doing, they love what we're doing, and then, we're building and we're making a competitive, a league through it all. So it's just, a lot of preparation for, on the pro development side as well as the pro side. And hopefully you'll see, what we've been working on the last few years to continue to build on the AAL brand, but at the same time, still give the audience, some football at this level, for the little guys, and so to speak, to build on them and get them to the next level. So.
Okay. So I know we talk about the pieces with the players and the development, but are you also focusing on helping them with, being able to do better, like interviewing, all those other things that will go into attempting to move up to the next level or beyond?
Absolutely. We've always had the mindset, well, the Bearkats anyway, to treat everyone obviously with the respect and the understanding that, look, this isn't professional, but however, this is the pro development side, and this is how we run things, and we just want to give them a little bit of what they'll see on the pro level in terms of your mannerisms, your posture, just your whole character development. Are you a coachable individual? Are you a selfish individual? Or, these things we try to polish on, from the beginning all the way through to the end. We help them with, job opportunities sometimes. We help them with, career changes and, different things of that sort. But when it comes to football, we try to give them as much as possible, especially from, AJ's standpoint with him, having the player experience, and then me as to, some of these executives and some of the, important players in those organizations on the pro level will be looking at, when they, bring you in, to have, you come in and help them, win a championship. So, it's not a lackadaisical, effort over this way. It's more of, a good, one-on-one or group related in terms of, being able to see the bigger picture. So it's not just having the package good of, being talented, but overall, because a lot of these pro, organizations look for, an overall player that's, going to be the right fit for their organization.
Yeah, I love the fact that you guys do focus on that with these guys, because a lot of times you have like you said, the two different aspects. You got some guys that may be young, still on the way up. You got some guys who may be veterans, have been in arena football, or maybe they did make it and now they're back to the arena level, and managing that and having that good dynamic, because it helps those younger guys, have guys that have been around to help on the level of, hey, I'm your kind of like your contemporary, but at the same time, I kind of been where you're trying to go, or I was working toward it at least at one point. So have pointers that I can give. So, in speaking of moving things, the two things we'll talk about. First, I'd love to get your perspective on things, on how everything went. So you had the Wheeling Miners there with you in the AAL2 last year, and they were able to move organizationally up to the NAL. So your perspective as, of course, the business guy. I myself have a business management degree, so kind of get where the business side, how that works.
Sure.
But your perspective of how that team was able to go from being a developmental team to actually being an NAL team in essentially one season.
Well, I can answer a little bit of it, but I want to say with the relationships that my partner has, he was in talks with the ownership. He knew the ownership, well, the main owner anyway. And then Coach Rez, great guy. I got to finally meet him last year. He's a pitcher. He's funny, but overall, it was a great opportunity and meeting with them and during the season, after the season, just getting to hang out with them. But bringing them, I think the concept or the idea of bringing them in is that they were pretty much a well-oiled machine, sort of where we want to get to within the next year or so. But it was a great example of their ownership and their organization, for a lot of these teams to kind of model themselves after, in a sense, because they had the complete package. I mean, from ownership to general manager to coaching staff to the head coach to the players to every facet they covered. And then just, seeing it with my own eyes and meeting their staff when we got there to Wheeling at West Banco, it was an incredible feeling. But, taking all that in, they're definitely a one team that's a clear example of what we want to do with a lot of these teams currently, and continue to build, and they build themselves within their community and all. So I would say they were a perfect example of what we want to do, as well as, you know, the rest of the league that we have right now. So I'd love to see them. You know, I unfortunately I didn't get a chance to see their game tonight. But you know, I'm sure they'll be very well polished and disciplined and be ready for the season coming up. So, and it's great that a couple of our players have been selected and currently playing with them as we speak. So, shout out to those guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, the other part that I kind of wanted to go over with you is, I know that there's been a little bit of a, we'll say, pipeline of you getting guys to the UFL and other places.
Yes.
So you talk to us a little bit about just how those things came about and kind of what you've put in place to kind of say, okay, this is what I realized that, you know, certain leagues are looking for, type of player, personality, all those things, and how you can kind of make that work for more guys in the future.
I think a lot of it has to do, again, with, you know, the experience and the professionalism, the communication and camaraderie that, well, really more of my partner AJ of having throughout, you know, some of these other leagues with the coaching and execs in that department. So, you know, I would definitely say when it comes down to you know, being in the right place at the right time with some of these guys. And we've been successful over the years, each year, sending guys up because of their, you know, character, their talent, their passion. You know, those are some of the things that we look for in a player that is hungry for the opportunity and want to excel and get to the next level. It's all about the coaching and just, you know, the whole mixture of bringing them in and seeing what they got, seeing what needs to be worked on, and, you know, making sure that they, you know, excel on those things that they needed to work on and would be able to elevate them to the next level. So I'm proud of a lot of these guys. You know, in recent weeks, we've been hearing a lot of talk with Todd Simmons, who played a few games for us towards the end of the season. I think he played for the Stampede, and then he played for us. And then he's been in touch with a lot of different folks with combines and such, but now he's actually on the Arlington Renegades roster right now. So we wish him the best, along with several others that have sprinkled around. We've had, like I said, mentioned earlier, a few players that are playing for the Wheeling Miners. And then we have some others that are spread out throughout the country with some pro teams as well. So it's just, you know, if they, you know, come here to learn, because a lot of the guys are looking, we noticed that a lot of guys are looking at, okay, the first thing out their mouth is, well, how much do we get paid? Do you have housing? Unfortunately, we don't have that at the time. However, we can make arrangements if you're hungry about the opportunity of coming out here. We don't compensate the players, and we really don't house, but we do make a couple of exceptions for some players. But overall speaking, they see the opportunity, they see what we're about, and they come in and do what they need to do, and they're rewarded to, you know, make it into the next level. So a lot of that has to deal with AJ and his coaching staff. We have some great coaches that played and have the experience in arena. So that's very helpful up front. And just the communication efforts that, you know, across during practice, off the field, communicating and you know, talking about a lot of the players and, you know, helping them and getting into the right positions to, you know, make it, you know, work for them to make it to the next level. So.
Yeah, man, I noticed, I love in the conversation that we're having, right? How you kind of, hey, this is Commissioner Roque, this is what he does, you know. You can tell there's a good synergy between you guys. You work well together and you kind of have a plan, but you share it. And it's always great when you see a league where you have, you know, people that look like me and you, right? That are able to work together and there's not an ego. There's not I want to be this, I want to be that, but we're just kind of making it work together. We're learning together. I have this piece, he has this piece. We put it together, and we're kind of able to make it work. So it's great for, I think, a lot of people to see that. And I think more people need to see those examples of things being positive, right? Because anytime it's negative, right? It's everywhere. You could be Pop Warner football. If it's negative, it's going to be everywhere. But positive ones seem to kind of fly more under the radar. So great to hear that and see that it's really a partnership that you guys work together on the team as well as the league. And I love and respect the fact that you have a team in the league, but you're also able to say, hey, that's a team, but we're looking at the league as a whole and we're trying to grow it and make it better. And that's a big piece that everyone that hears this, everyone that sees this, focus on that. That's something that's exciting. A lot of guys that you may see somewhere else in the future, right? There may be NAL, there may be UFL, there could be any of the other leagues. But guys are here to move. You've heard it. If you were on the first episode of the Predator Show with Commissioner Roque, you heard it there. You're hearing it now. They're bringing in guys and saying, we want you here until you're ready to go somewhere else and then get out. We want you to move. So
exactly.
That's a big thing for me, and that's exciting because it gives a whole new aspect to guys really being in positions to say, I'm here to try to help this team win. But at the end of the day, this league as a whole and my specific team are here to try to help me get to the next level. And that's exciting. And that's definitely something that is unique, right? Because a lot of times, good players, you don't want them to leave. You want them there. You want to be able to, you know what I'm saying?
Win a championship.
Be good, because that's what gets people to see us.
Right.
AAL2 is a little different. And that's exciting to be a part of and see happen and see how that develops throughout the year.
Absolutely.
You've lost people in the preseason from some teams already, which is a good thing because they're going and they're stepping up. But at the same time, it shows what you guys are doing to help people develop. So,
absolutely.
I love to see that, man. So the other thing I would ask, you got your South Division, you got your North Division. So when you're looking at a team, right, if you guys are looking and saying, maybe we want to add a team, just generally, don't want you to get into details because I understand, but just generally kind of what are some of the things, generally speaking, of course, that you'd be looking for if someone came to you and say, hey, I have this team or I want to create this team and I want to put it in the AAL2?
Well, absolutely. My partner does a quick screening with them. We have a questionnaire. Then we vet through that, and then we talk about it, and then we actually have a conversation with that, representative of that owner of the team. And we just, kind of ask the questions, the hard-nosed questions. Are you going to be able to field the team? Are you going to have the venue? Are you gonna be able to travel? Do you have the league fees? I mean, they're affordable league fees, but you'd be surprised. There, some may not have it, at the moment. But what we do is kind of go through all that and just have that conversation, that heart-to-heart conversation with them, with that potential owner. And say, hey, listen, is this for you? Do you have the facility? Do you have the players? Do you have the coaching staff? We don't want to get it to a point where, we get, getting ready to kick off and you were supposed to, start making arrangements and connecting with the opposing, coaches and ownership and letting them know, hey, listen, everything is good to go. I'm going to turn my roster in by Thursday, blah, blah, blah. And then you get a phone call. You hate to hear that, getting a phone call at the last minute saying, hey, listen, we can't make it down, or blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, it's really all about, vetting them and making sure that, at least they got the essentials down. And then we'll be able to talk more business and make a sound decision to bring them in once they do, a nice little presentation, if you will. And, the other league members, have to, be in accordance as well. So we try to get everybody involved when it comes to that level. And then, we'll make the, final decision to bring them on. But if, those key or those essential pieces are not in place and we don't feel strong about it, then it's a no-go.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So we do have another guest that is going to join us here. I think that's somebody that you may know pretty well.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir. Somebody that I think we've said a few things about, all positive, of course, but a few things about throughout the episode so far. So we are bringing on what's going on. The commissioner, the AAL2, of course, Jermaine's business partner, Commissioner Roque. I hope I'm still saying it correctly. I'm trying, but hey, if I'm not, my bad.
Yeah, all good. What's up, Jermaine? What's up, cool? How you guys doing?
What's going on, partner?
What's going on, man? Yeah, we're just kind of introducing people to, Jermaine, of course. Do the same with you, sir. Now, Jermaine, I know that you kind of have some things to go. So if you need to step away, you can. It's all good. If you want to hang out with us a little bit, we'd love to have you. But, we just want to make you good as well.
I'll stay on a little longer. I want to see what it's all about, and it's a great show, great podcast, and look forward to being a part of it more in the future. And so far so good. It's great.
Fair enough. So, Commish, since we got you here, so we kind of talked with Jermaine earlier. We were asking him about the wheeling. Great, gave us a great response. But from your perspective, talk to us a little bit about wheeling and them getting from you guys in development last year up to the NAL now, and how that process went. What you could tell us, if there's some things that you kind of need to keep to the side, you can keep those to the side, but just what you can share with us.
Yeah. I mean, seeing them play tonight, and starting our league, last year, it was pretty cool seeing a team move on. Yeah. And move up. So, that's pretty awesome. It was also cool to see them play somebody, in their caliber.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, from top to bottom, I mean, they're a top-notch organization. I mean, everything they do, I mean, from, buying vans to take their guys from practice to the hotel or hotel to practice, just taking care of them, giving the guys meals, 3 meals a day, just everything that says we're pro, that's who they are. Right. And you got to give your hats off to the teams like that nowadays in this indoor world.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's like y'all got one brain, man. It's really, I'm not surprised, but it's just great to see. It's like you guys got like one brain, right? Because I mean, literally, Jermaine said almost the same thing.
6+ years, man. 6+ years riding this ride.
Yeah.
That's a long time, man. That's a long time. So I asked Jermaine this one too. I think it's a good question. So we know you have, the league and you guys run the league, but how are you able to kind of split running the league from running your team, the Bearkats?
Well, if you don't have a league, you don't have a team, and you don't have nobody to play in the team. So you got to take care of the league first. So I mean, it's kind of like we got to have a team. We got to have somebody to play. So we got to make sure the league part is in order. I don't know. I guess it sounds easy. A lot of people don't think it's easy, but it's easy, when you like what you're doing, love what you're doing and stuff.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think it also helps that we can transform, and he can do one thing on the league side. I can handle some things on the Bearcat side, or vice versa. So we work as one, but if we need to split and handle things, we're really good at that one. So
absolutely. Again, as you can see now, I just came on. He was on doing his thing with you.
Oh yeah, and it's great because I love to see this, man. Like, I love to see this. It's great to see two guys that can get together and do something. It's positive, helping guys develop, helping guys possibly get to the next level, giving guys that may have wanted opportunities and maybe didn't get them, or had opportunities and now they're kind of like, I'll just go back here. Having that good mix of people, it's great to see. And I think it's something that a lot of people are going to be excited about once they get it, because everything is people understanding it, right?
Right.
Once people understand what you have, once people see what you have, then they're like, oh, this sounds pretty good. This is pretty exciting. So I believe this is going to be a product that people are going to enjoy. So you guys are in a lot of cities. We saw all of the different teams, logos, and everything where they're at in the opening. So are you guys able to kind of move to different places and kind of try to see all the teams that you can play and see different games? Or is it more if they play our team or if they're in a close proximity, we try to get to them? How does that work for you guys and how you try to see the league?
So since the South opens up April 5th, myself and Jermaine, he's going to go to a game. I'm going to go to another game, so we can see those teams.
Okay.
And then after that, it's more so, seeing the teams in the North, 2 different times, 2 of the teams in the North. And the other 2 teams are deputy commissioner for the North. He'll see the other 2 teams that we don't see in the North. So eventually we end up getting around to seeing everybody, throughout the year.
Okay. See, that's good. So, hey, I guess I'll see at least one of you guys at the Predators game. So,
yeah.
Shout out to the Predators. I think the Predators, man, I've been talking to some of the players, man, and they're ready. The players say they're ready. They, I'm sure you guys are as well. I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful league. Any team that you kind of see, you like, what, these teams, it's going to be interesting to watch these particular teams play. Maybe
that South division.
That South as a whole, okay. Because a lot of guys, maybe staying, differences in coaching staff. Maybe some guys came in that are going to be able to kind of help the teams more. But you think that South is going to be real good to watch all those games?
Yeah, I think that those South games are going to be something to watch every week.
Okay.
That's my. And at one point, I was going with Mississippi at one point, and then I switched to River Gators. Now I'm on to the Carolina Predators.
But that just speaks to how many good teams you've seen, right? Because football you play.
Yeah, I see everything.
Yeah,
I'm just not. We just don't have the league and stuff. I actually enjoy the sport. I actually like to see what these other teams are doing and who they're bringing in and things like that. So then I got to see what we got to do on this side.
Making necessary adjustments and all, yeah.
But again, I enjoy it. Ralph, me and him always talk man, y'all, I see you guys, y'all acting up down there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the Predators, man. Like I said, man, I know there's other teams. I'm not saying that they just super dominant but everybody, but that's a team, of course, I know a little bit more about. And they're ready. They
got a good coaching staff too.
Yes, they do. And the players talked about that all the time, how good the coaching staff are. And I know you guys have a good coaching staff. There ain't no way y'all don't have a good coaching staff as well, right? There's no possible way y'all are not going to have a good coaching staff.
We got some guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's no possible y'all not going to have a good coaching staff. But
we got some guys. But,
I alluded to it earlier, great staff. So,
But, we got some guys that we know from other leagues prior that are bringing some of their players and coaches or joining another team coming into, one of the teams on the East with the Steel City Stampede, that we know very familiar. And, guys they're bringing in. So, it's exciting. You got a whole nother Jersey team, in the state here. And, and then you have, the Maryland War Eagles that are combining, with the Maryland Eagles from last year and the Maryland Warriors. So now you add both of those guys together, it'll be pretty good.
That's a nice logo for the Warriors. I mean, I was talking to Sam the other day, right? And we're talking about, man, these guys got some nice logos, right? These are some good logos. You could tell people took the time to say, hey, I'm going to put out a good logo. And maybe everybody doesn't care about logos, but I'm a logo guy. I love logos because if your logo is not good, I'm like, I might watch. You got a good logo, and I see that logo popping up on the TV, or on YouTube or wherever I'm at. I'm like, well, what they about? So y'all definitely are killing it. I think they're just overall, right? Some are a little bit better, but I think everybody's got a good solid logo, and that makes
pretty good.
Wait till you see the uniforms.
Wait till we see the uniforms. Hey, I can't wait. I haven't seen any yet, but I can't wait. But so one of the things that I asked Commissioner this when he was on the Predator show, but I'm gonna ask y'all again now, right? Expansion. Do you have an expansion plan in place, like where you want to get to within like the next couple of years?
I think we would love to be at 16 solid teams.
Okay.
Where do we really want to expand? It is the AAL, right? We that's what we want, to come back.
Okay.
Right. Out of everything that's happening. But again, you got to have the professional teams to have a professional league. That's right. And there's not enough professional teams, actual professional teams, right? Not the ones that call themselves professional.
Mm-hmm.
That we would want in the league, in the AAL1. That's really the biggest expansion picture, for us. Right, but it's in no rush, right? The time will be right. The time will come. We're in no rush, and we're just keeping it. It's it's ready to go when the time is right. For now, we'll focus on the AAL2 and continue building that. And then so when the AAL1 comes, it's the AAL2's on cruise control.
Makes sense.
There you go.
Jermaine, nothing to add, Jermaine?
No, I was just saying, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and the focus is the focus is taking it one day at a time, season, year by year. You know what I mean? We'd love to get to those, bigger numbers with some teams that, be very impactful in certain, areas and communities, regionalized. But we're being patient about it. And again, we have to vet. We have to make sure these teams are, realistic. You know what I mean, and on point. Because if you're not, we won't be able to accept you. You know what I mean? But like AJ said, man, it's just we're taking it easy. There's no rush. We're going to focus on what we need to focus on. And if it's the AAL2 at this time, then that's what we'll do. And then when it's ready, sound and ready for the AAL, and then we'll launch that, and that'll be that.
And believe it or not, even at our AAL2 level, it's hard to get teams. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot of teams, sure, that, reach out and want to come in, but they're just used to certain ways of doing things that just can't have and accept and hear.
Yeah, before you got here, Jermaine was kind of telling us about overview of like the process, different things that you guys do when you're looking for teams are wanting to get in. Makes perfect sense to me. The one thing I get from you guys and the conversation we had about it is quality over quantity.
Right.
And that makes a lot of sense because, this is something that y'all are very invested in. So you want to have people come in that you feel like are going to, maintain the standard that you have.
Right.
And that can be tricky.
And are you sometimes going to pick the wrong ones that you thought were right? Yes, it's going to happen. It happens in the higher leagues as well. Or it happens in everyday life that, you make a decision, but it turns out not to be the right one.
Happens in
right? So, and we live and learn off of it and try to avoid it the next time.
Absolutely.
Try is the key word, though, right? Because you're always not going to avoid it. But when things come up, you can nip it in the bud and move on, right? Instead of it holding you back. And I think we've done a pretty awesome job with that part, moving on and continuing when, problems do arise and getting through them. Most of the time, any problem we have, they haven't set us back. We were able to get through them all and do what, we need to do to finish the season. Redo a schedule, finish the season, finish it out just like we started it.
Yeah, I was telling him, in the early years, it was a little tough, but we learned from our, mistakes and capitalized on them, and kind of, going back to your days of playing AJ and some of the, business stuff that I've been doing over the years, and it works. Our sides work. Seamless. So close to perfect, I should say. But for the most part, it's been a heck of a ride, for us from day one to now where we are now. So, and it shows that we've evolved and grown in a lot of ways. So.
Yeah. I was waiting. I was hoping we would get Commissioner on that because I wanted to ask you guys: is there like a specific moment, like from since you started to now, like one of those moments that you just kind of always remember that sticks out into your mind? Maybe it's a good one, maybe it's a bad one, but like a moment that kind of sticks out to you.
Playing the first game or in the AAL2, having that first week kick off and teams play, right? Because you're starting something new and hopefully you get through the season, right? And let alone we ended up playing the championship, playing the championship game. So we started week 1 with all teams and ended with a championship game, as the season should. So I'll always cherish that first week of the first season.
Yes,
Because we'll start something new for us.
Yeah, that's definitely a good moment.
I want to, probably echo the same sentiments with AJ because it was just, I came from the semi-pro, outdoor 11-man and all that, and really didn't enjoy a lot of the success and all with it. But when we finally got to that point and we were in a league, a reputable league at that, and then switching it up to the gears with the AAL2, it was just, man, we're here. We're in the big show in a sense, you know what I mean? Because it was just, tremendous feeling, from day one all the way to the very end, and then the championship. I mean, a lot was going on in those early years, but here we are, and just got to be thankful for where we are and what we continue to do and accomplish with a lot of those folks that are involved, players, coaches, fans, everybody that made it happen. We definitely can't forget about them. The support has been amazing. So.
Yep. And then that first week, go back to the Bearkats and Steel City. We played each other at home the first week, and they beat us with 0.4 seconds on the clock.
Oh, wow.
0.4. And we were up 32-12 at one point.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking.
So that was one of those, moments that was the first week, and that was a killer way to end, and that was also a hell of a way to win, for them.
True. Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was just in the end, yeah, of course you're mad because you lost, but that was a hell of a game or a way to lose. 0.4, being down 32-12, and you can see it, up close of a team coming back and winning that game. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a moment that it's a memorable moment. Obviously, you would prefer it was the other way, but it was still was a good, memorable moment to kick off the.
It was a cool, memorable moment.
Yeah, if you take out the
it was.
Yeah. Well, it was sweeter. It was sweeter with that revenge and playing them on their home turf for the championship. So it was sweeter then, and we won it all. So.
Yeah, if you're gonna lose one and win one, I would definitely rather lose in the season. And then I definitely think that would be the best way for me to do it. I've never started like an organization or anything, but I can't say like I remember doing my first podcast and then like watching it, like, wow, that's me. So much smaller scale, but I did where you're coming from, like that first kind of like opus or whatever you're putting out there. You kind of like, yeah, that's us. We did that. We made that happen. Yeah, I did.
Just trying to give guys opportunities that nobody wanted to do. Nobody wants to worry about the little guys.
Yeah, man. That's one of the things that I really love about just AL2 in general, man. It's an opportunity, like you said, for the little guys, because I've been interviewing players for Predators again, and just the thing is, hey, opportunities, right? Like we
Right.
have a
That's what it is. Yep.
Yeah, we have a place we can learn and play. We got guys in our front office, the league office, guys from top to bottom that want us to succeed and want us to basically get out of here, right? Like we're in time, and then when the opportunity comes, get.
Right.
And that's amazing, man, because again, like I said before, there's not a lot of places that you can go in any league, any level, and they say, hey, we want you here, we want you to help us, but when you get to that point where other better opportunities are there, go take your opportunity.
Yep.
We'll give you for it. We're gonna praise you. We're gonna celebrate you. We want you to take it. We're not trying to keep you here. We want you to take it. You know, and that's one thing that I've learned from talking to you guys, from talking to players, the owner, the Predators, some of the coaches for the Predators. That's the overlapping theme. And that seems to be something that obviously starts with you guys because you're at the top. So if you don't have that belief and you don't have that thought process, it's not going to trickle down to everybody else.
Right.
So definitely, man, kudos to you two gentlemen for that.
Yeah. Thanks. I guess just getting like-minded people. When you have Dante Mason, with the Wheeling Miners, then he went on to go play with the Duluth River Monsters. He came from the Steel City Stampede. He was on that team that I was just talking about.
So you can always remember him, right?
Yeah, he's been with them a couple of years now. And then here's the AAL2. We get the Miners in the league, and they go and beat them 58-0, and then they go and pick a player up off of the team that they played and beat 58-0. Right? So imagine that. Imagine you go play a team, you beat them 58-0, bro. Like, we got to get this guy. He's a good dude. He's a good player. We got to get him with us.
Yeah.
Right? And now he becomes a defensive player of the year last year in the league, wins the championship, and then goes out to Duluth and wins another championship in the TAL. But imagine if that AL2 was never there and the Wheeling Miners were never in the league. That's why I said they've done more for the AL2 than people actually realize. Jarvie Flowers also played for the Wheeling Miners. Also was with the Carolina Cobras, right, from before he went to the Miners. And then where'd he go in the end of the season? He went to Duluth, won another championship. He played with the Maryland War Eagles the year before in the AL2.
Got to have that base. You got to have that somebody to see you, because one of the good things is it gives all those guys the opportunity to be seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, it's so many levels that people don't get on how important it is what you guys are doing, and how important the owners of these other teams are, right? Just because, the commissioners, your deputies, and everything, it's important to have this because guys need it. Fans need it, because every city doesn't have a, NFL team or UFL team that they can go see.
Right.
Those tickets, those tickets are not, they are ugly. Like, you sometimes see the prices and it's like, am I going to eat this month or am I going to go to a game? You know what I'm saying? Is it oodles and noodles and dollar menus, or $3 menus now, or am I going to eat good and not go to the game? It's kind of crazy, but having the product that people can see, a cost that's reasonable,
right,
great environment, and at a time when, I don't really want to say this, but I'm just going to say it anyway, a time when there's not really a lot going on sports wise, right? Like, you've got spring leagues going on, but there's not a lot. Like, WNBA hasn't started yet.
Right.
NBA's there, but you kind of in that stretch with the NBA, and the way the NBA is right now, a lot of people are just not even watching. So having another alternative they can turn to that's football, right? Like legit football, I think is great, and in that being kind of like a feeder system, almost like
absolutely
people that can't maybe grasp the concept. Think about like a AAA team for baseball.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Something where you're there. People can come and get players. If somebody gets hurt, somebody gets traded, something happens, and You see a player and you're like, man, if I had a spot, I'd go get that guy. Then that spot opens up and you go and get that guy. It's kind of like that.
Yep.
And that's great because
that's how it's set up.
Yeah, it's not there. And it being there now, man, game changer. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just exposure. Y'all gonna get exposure, man, because you're doing something that I believe personally, not just because I'm on the show, but personally is needed. And when you do things that are needed and it's going to help people, you'll get the eyes, right? You'll get the coverage, and then that just gives you a chance to do it for more people.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see how it grows and how we get even more teams that are, reputable where you want them to be and can pay the fees and, be part of it and make it even better.
Right.
So I'm excited to see all that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about it when it happens too. We're going to talk about
it. We're going to celebrate.
Just a few more guys that like tonight with the Spartans quarterback that we had for the Jersey Bearkats, Khalil Trotman made the Colorado Spartans final roster.
Okay.
He was in Wheeling tonight with, Colorado. Another receiver we had that was a Bearcat
is with
the
Pete.
Wheeling Miners. Pete Savarad.
Yeah, so the guys
who else? David Ross. Brandon Negron came up and watched the playoff game last year between the Bearcats and Wheeling. So he's seen David up close, and next thing you know, now David is down in Carolina.
Yep. Carolina Cobras, yeah.
And he made the final roster.
There you go. It's just great to see, to see that, right? And you guys have stories. I'm sure we go back 2 or 3 years. You guys got guys for days that you can talk about from your team.
Yeah.
Who have, made those moves. And I want the people that are watching to know it's not stopping. Like, you look at these guys' eyes, you listen to these guys, they want this to work.
Yep.
You look at the players, you talk to some of these other coaches, I guarantee you'll hear the same thing, even ones that I haven't had an opportunity to meet or talk to yet.
Mm-hmm.
They want this league to work. When everybody's on the page with that, everybody's doing what they need to be doing, you're going to get a great product. So, y'all, when the season happens,
there's no stopping this. Yep.
Yeah, when the season happens, y'all, tune in. However you need to see it, tune in and watch. You're going to enjoy what you see. It's going to be great.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So, gentlemen,
absolutely.
Any last thoughts or anything you guys would like to discuss before we, get out of here for the day?
No, I did want to shout out, reason why I was a little late. We were up at, the Barclays Center watching the Nets and Lakers. And before the game started, the Lady Bearkats, our dance team, performed before the game started. So that was cool, watching them on the, Barclays floor.
Oh, that's dope.
Before the game started tonight. Got a chance to see LeBron and Luka up close. We were, backstage and stuff, and they're just walking by like it's nothing. Like nothing. Luka just walking by. You got Austin Reeves walking by, Marquise Morris, Rob Pelinka. It was the
wow,
best thing ever. Like, just walking by you like it's nothing. Like it's
he's starstruck over there.
It's nuts. And then when LeBron
I'm only playing
by,
with you.
You seen the camera and everybody taking pictures. You're like, all right, well, why are these cameras out? And then here comes LeBron around the thing. But it was awesome time seeing them on the court performing.
That's good, man. See, sometimes being part of AAL and other leagues, you get opportunities to be around people that you may not have otherwise had the opportunity. Another perk.
Right.
That's right. Absolutely. So stay tuned to a great season that's about to start within the next month. So we're happy to present to you the AAL2, and we're looking forward to a great season and a great, playoff and championship season as well. Championship will be here in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. So this is episode 1 Turf Talk. Y'all keep This won't be the last. Stay tuned. Hey guys, do either one of you guys want to give any socials or ways that people can contact you if they would like to?
No, you can contact us and follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Emails. info@AmericanArenaLeague.com
Okay.
and AmericanArenaLeague.com. Our website. Just look forward to a great season, man. There's so many good players, so many good coaches
And teams.
that are now, in our league, man. From 23 to now, the level of competition and knowledge of coaching has just risen, a lot.
It's gonna be wonderful to see. It's great to hear.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
All right.
So stay tuned.
Absolutely. For Commissioner Roque, for Jermaine, this is your boy Cool McCain. Episode number 1, we out, but this won't be the last. Get excited and tune in.